Welcome to Business Purpose and Clarity with Petri. I'm your host. We talk about startup life, insights, practical tips, mistakes, failures, and everything between. Does your company have clear values? The last few weeks have been really good examples and tests to those values. And how do you practice them in action? It is said that companies should be apolitical. They should not take standing on current affairs because that could isolate and divide their customer base. I tend to agree to an extent, but there are cases, and the latest Russian invasion to Ukraine is one of them, where inaction is an action. And it's very clear where the humanitarian, the right side of this war in reality is. If you are not taking sides or you are completely ignoring what's happening, because this is a really big thing, the biggest military escalation in Europe after the World War. This is an exceptional event which will shape a lot of things in the future as well. And if you're not doing anything in times like these, people will remember. I will just show you a few examples what I have found and discovered and observed after the Russian invasion started. Let's take an example of a Finnish company called Fazer. They are in Russia. They are providing to the St. Petersburg, which is one of the biggest cities in Russia, almost 40% of the daily staple bread and other bakery goods and products for that area. They are a large company, reputable company in Finland. They've been operating over 100 years. And they made a statement in the beginning of March that they consider their service so crucial, that is humanitarian, to keep on providing and keep on being in the business in Russia, when most of the companies have already announced that they will stop or cancel the operations. They will withdraw totally from the Russian market. It took less than 24 hours for the company, in this particular case Fazer, to reverse their position. They started to get a lot of angry customer feedback and saying that they are actually supporting the Russian invading military, that they are actually enabling this war. Without going too much into the politics, without going too deeply into the discussion, how does it look? Now they are explaining and excusing that, they wanted to do this decision earlier, but it was not possible. But yet, after 24 hours, it was possible to do the right decision. The damage you do by staying on the fence, the damage you do by not doing anything, can sometimes be a real big thing. But I think the even more worrisome thing is that why did you not react in the first place by doing that hard thing? Because that is what it is. If you've been building your business for years, if you've been putting a lot of resources, you have a good thing going, it is obvious that you don't want to give it away. You don't want to admit that the geopolitical risk you took materialized. And that's what it is. You took a risk and it materialized. But you are slow to admit that it has happened. These are really hard things. These are things which really test your values, where whether you're putting the money, maybe the rational side, maybe the cognitive dissonance that you are explaining yourself that it's not really that bad. Maybe this goes away. Maybe you can wait from the right thing to do. I don't know, and I cannot know what are the right answers in your business in these situations. But I think the important thing is that you have values, you have a purpose, and you are willing to make quick decisions. You are willing to commit and do things when they matter. Even more importantly, it takes a lot of bravery to show initiative and be the first to do something, and not just stand and wait others to make the lead and then you follow. Values are something what you do even when somebody is not looking, when nobody is looking. You do it because that's who you are, and that's how your business is. Another related issue is how can you actually help? Companies are making fundraisers, they're donating money, some are donating a lot of money. Like I saw Panasonic giving almost at least 150 million to the cause. But there are other ways to support as well. Let's take an example. I think this has been done at least partly, but it's just a good example that if you have a product, you may not need to donate money if you can actually provide the service. Well, Elon Musk sent the Starlink and activated it in Ukraine. That's a really good example. You can do it with your product. Some telco operators made the calls in and out of Ukraine free of charge. They enabled roaming free of charge. And this is a good example where your product has a utility, which is important, valuable, and you can do that. Because otherwise people need to spend the donation money to buy the services from you. So sometimes it's not that hard to do the right thing. But I think the important distinction is whether you actually really want to help, or do you just want to do the signaling so that you do something because that's what you're supposed to do.